Hi, today I'm gonna head over to the American Diabetes Association's website again to show you how to pick the most diabetes-friendly recipes from their website. I advocate a minimum of 70% of the calories to come from fat, at least in the beginning when you are starting to reverse your diabetes and you want your blood sugar to go down and you want to teach your body how to use fat for fuel. It's really important that you dare up the fat, especially as a percentage of the calories, because if you have too much carbs or too much protein in the beginning, your body will be more familiar with how to use them for fuel and might go that way, and you're just going to be stuck in limbo and not be able to get the fat burning machinery going, and you're going to be very tired and it's going to feel like it's taking forever to adapt to this new diet. So it's really important that you get all of the fat that you need. I also advocate maximum 10 grams of carbs per meal and a total of 30 grams per day spread out throughout those meals. And the rest is just protein. So just to take an example, if you're a person who, let's say, need 2000 calories per day and you're eating 3 meals per day, and no snacks, okay? You are looking for a meal that contains roughly 50 grams of fat, 40 grams of protein, and max 10 grams of carbs. 10 grams of carbs is optional, it's not mandatory, okay? But I do want you to try and get the fat up. That is the most important thing in the beginning. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is the page that you get to if you go to the American Diabetes Association webpage and look for recipes that will forward you to this page. So today is the 8th of February here in New Zealand, 2021. So as of today, these are the recipes that are on here. Since I'm all about low carb, I am going to focus on the low carb recipes. So let's just scroll down to them. So they have different categories like featured, Mediterranean, cooking for 1 or 2, easy pantry recipes, and lower carb. So what I mentioned earlier is that we're looking for meals that contain, now a little bit depending on how much you're actually going to eat, but slightly more fat than protein if you're going to get the ratios right, and a full portion that is going to be all of the food that you're going to eat for that meal shouldn't contain more than 10 grams of carbs. Okay, so when you go to these recipes, if you just hover over them, they will tell you one serving size is 2 poppers. Look at those. That's not, that's not a dinner, it's a side dish. Calories 45, total carbohydrates 4, total fat 1.5, protein 3. So to get to your maximum carb count, you could have 2.5 portions here. So that is not a lot. You would have to eat only protein and fat for the main dish if you wanted this as a side dish, for example. So I'm not really sure what their definition of lower carb is, but we'll see. Then we have cauliflower fried rice. That also sounds to me like it's a side dish rather than a main dish. 80 calories. Yeah, it's not a lot of energy in there. After all, we need energy. Total carbs 8, so we're getting up there. Fat 5 grams, protein 3 grams. This is not low carb, in my opinion. Or it's definitely not ketogenic. If we are eating it as in their serving sizes and the rest is fat and protein, we can get away with it. But this is not a lot of food, people. So you need to consider when you're looking at their recipes, how big is this portion that they are giving you their macros for? How much food is it? Is it going to fill you up, or are you going to have to eat 3 or 4 portions of this to actually get full, in which case it's not low carb anymore. It's going to be 20 to 40, 50 grams of carbs in this cauliflower rice. Don't get me wrong, I like cauliflower rice. It's a great substitute, cauliflower mash, rice, whatever, but in the end of the day, you need to make sure that you're also getting enough of the other nutrients and not just fluff. This is definitely not a full dish. 1 tart serving size, 4 grams this is not low carb. This is probably put in here under lower carb because the total amount of carbohydrates per portion is very low. But who on earth eats one mini pumpkin tart? I would probably eat 10 of those, and then I would have eaten 40 grams of carbs and wasted all of that on carbs rather than getting my protein and my fats up. This looks good though, the Asian chicken salad. 9 grams of carbs, 15 grams of fat, 26 grams of protein. I like this. What I don't like is that it's semi-low in fat. Let's see if we can open that in a new tab. Actually have a look at what they're doing, because this is as a dish is actually quite good. It just needs to be modified a little bit. So here they have all the nutrition facts properly. 15 grams of fat, 9 grams of carbohydrate, not 8, I thought it said 8, anyway. So fiber, sugar, blah blah blah. Protein 26, that's pretty good, we're getting there, but we need to up the fat. So we have lettuce, cabbage, carrots. You can actually remove some carrots and almonds if you want to go lower carb. Sesame seeds, cooked chicken breast, that's very lean. Rice vinegar, lower sodium soy sauce, olive oil and crushed red pepper flakes. So I could make some suggestions for how to make this a little bit higher in fat, and that's obviously adding more oil would be one way of doing that. 2 tablespoons is not much divided on 4 portions that it says that it is here. You could also add things like feta cheese or other cheese, or a mayonnaise, something like that to get your fat up with a salad. Okay, let's see what else they have. We want to find something that is good. More chicken. 21 grams of protein, 11 grams of carbs. Okay. Sausage patties. Same thing again. Protein is a lot higher than fat. At least the carbs are very low here. But we want the fat to be slightly higher than the carbs. So for all of the recipes we've seen so far, you're going to have to add some fat. More chicken. 8 grams of carbs. There's more carbs than fat in there. Let's have a look at what they've done here, because this could maybe be modified and actually made into an edible dish. They have a tiny bit of olive oil, Parmesan cheese. Oh, non-stick cooking spray. Please do not do that. These are just oils that have they're not good fats. I'm not going to go into that because I could talk about that forever, but these are not good fats and you don't want them on there. I know that they are very convenient. I'm born in the 70s. I've grown up with actually using butter and unfortunately margarine when I was not too old. That became popular, but stick to butter and real fats. Margarine is a big no-no, and cooking sprays, please do not do that. I'm not sure where grape tomatoes, that's probably where all the carbs are coming from, so you could probably remove the tomatoes and add some more fat to this dish as well. And again, same suggestions as for the previous dish. Maybe some melted butter. Slow cook pulled BBQ chicken. They have a thing for chicken here, and I think I know why. Because chicken is lean, and for some reason they stuck in the thinking that fat is bad for you, and I want you to think the opposite way. Fat is your friend. Fat will help you get control of your blood sugar. When you have fat with any type of food, you will delay the response as well and kind of make that the whole curve much smoother. So fat is really good. Fat is a good energy source, especially for type 2 diabetics, where you don't want the insulin to go up, you don't want the blood sugar to go up, so just everything stays stable or semi-low and just like a smooth peak, if you like. Yeah, so let's just scroll through here quickly. Too many carbs, because from what I've seen, 160 calories is not one serving size. You want to eat 3 main meals per day, and even if you live on, say, 1500 calories per day, you will want this to be at least 500 calories. So you're looking for dishes between 500 and 700 calories, and one of these might not be enough, and you want to up that so that you're actually getting full and feeling satiated after eating. They are just dabbling around here, and they're reducing the serving sizes to make it look like they are low carb when they're not actually low carb. More chicken. I'm getting sick of chicken here, even though I'm not eating it. Very little fat. Asian pork chops, that could be fat to it. Fattier. Yes, a little bit, but not that much. Avocado tuna salad. No, not very much of fat there either. Yeah, so what you are looking for, I'm not going to continue. Oh, let's just have a look at the eggs. There you go. This is actually not... unfortunately, the serving size is half a large egg, but the ratio here is not too bad. I would have liked it to be 4 grams of fat to 3 grams of protein, but this is not bad. So let's see what they put in here. So that's eggs, mayonnaise, mustard powder, a pinch of salt, fresh ground black pepper. There you go. Protein, and then you have mayonnaise, which is a lot of fat, and that 1 gram of carbs is coming from maybe the mustard powder. So this is not bad. I mean, how many eggs do you want to eat? These are 6 eggs, 12 servings. You get 45 calories. If you eat all 12 yourself, you have a full meal. Now, most people are probably not going to eat 12 eggs, but in theory, you actually could. And eggs are really nutritious as well. Roasted chicken. I'm just laughing here. Cucumber guacamole. Quite a lot of carbs. Chicken burgers. What the hell is wrong with them? Let's see if they have something that is not. So here, easy pantry recipes. Easy egg salad. Yes. This looks good. Just a little bit more fat and I would be happy. And that's kind of easy to change. Let's see what they have in here. This eggs, light mayonnaise. Okay, we don't do light anything. You want full fat mayonnaise. Dijon mustard, ground black pepper. So if you did full on mayonnaise, this would not be bad, I don't think. What about meatloaf? Oh, holy crap. Okay, I want to look at this because a meatloaf could be a really, really good dinner, and all you need is like a side dish. You could have some of those roasted peppers, poppers, whatever they were called, for example. If you have 4 of those, you still stay within your limit, and you just need to get the carbs down for this dish. 18 grams per 2 slices is way too much. Let's see what they've done. Okay, a cup of ketchup. No. Just remove that. And again, cooking spray, no thank you. Balsamic vinegar contains some sugar, so you might want to opt in for like a low sugar version of that, or skip it entirely. And apparently they're using lean ground turkey, and I wouldn't do that either. I would just go for the beef option, unless you're someone who doesn't like beef. But you could even put some pork mince in there, because that is a lot fattier, and just mix it with beef, and that makes it a lot juicier. So you don't need all these extra other things. When you have some proper meat with some fat in it, you do get a juicy meatloaf anyway. You don't need to put like oatmeal in there. There's no need to do that. Onion, fine. Garlic, fine. Onions, it's like half an onion in this, so it's not going to be a lot, but onions are actually fairly rich in sugar, just so you know. Parmesan cheese, egg substitute. I'm not sure why they use egg substitute. I say use real eggs. So what you can do, if you find the recipe here that you think looks good, go on Google and Google keto meatloaf, for example, and I'm sure you'll find like many recipes of people who have made really good keto meatloafs before. So yeah, I think my problem primarily with the low carb, lower carb dishes is actually that it feels like they're cheating sometimes. when they're just making the portion size very small. So first of all, have a look at how much food do you get for what you're actually going to consume. Secondly, and also, can you do that with 10 grams of carbs, or is it going to be 20, 30, 40 by the time you're actually having enough food? And when you find a dish that has enough protein, up the fat until you have enough fat. That way you can actually make these dishes edible and serving you and helping you reverse your diabetes as well as possible, keeping your blood sugar low, keeping the insulin low, and that's where you want to be. So as you can see, even though they provide low carb recipes, these are generally way lower in fat than they should be. And you need to be a little bit careful with that, because some diabetics, when they are eating a lot of protein and maybe some carbs but still low carb, their blood sugars can actually go up from eating too much protein because there is no fat present. And so it's not necessarily a problem for everyone, just remember that you might react differently, but I'm saying that some diabetics do react to it. And you can obviously test this for yourself and find out what ratio you need to do, but in the beginning you really do want to make sure that your fat is up there. In general, it's better to start out with a lot of fat, but just a word of caution, if your GI tract can't take the amount of fat that you're trying to eat, go up slower. Usually it's better to add raw fats to your diet, so raw butter, or even if you want to eat raw animal fat or whatever, olive oil, avocado, avocados, that sort of thing is usually easier to adjust to than rendered fat. So if you have a really fatty steak and you cook it and then you think, oh, I'm just going to pour all of that fat onto my steak and that will be perfect. For me, I can do that, but for some people, especially in the beginning before you're getting used to it, that can upset your whole system. So the next time you go and look for diabetes friendly recipes, I would really recommend that you go and search for keto recipes. If you go on the ADA website, you can do that, but just keep in mind that you need to modify them a bit. So it's great that they have all the macros there, so you can see at least how much protein you're getting. You can up the amount of food so you get the right amount of protein, and then just add the fat on top. That's fine. But there are billions and billions of keto websites with recipes out on the internet, and they generally contain a lot more fat than what the ADA is recommending. Some sites they're very dairy heavy, which is fine. That wouldn't work for me because I can't tolerate dairy very well. If you're a person who does well with dairy, go for it. Like, fill your boots up, drink cream, eat cheese, eat butter, it's fine. I can do butter, but not so much cream and cheese. It doesn't work for me. So if you want to know more about the best ways of reversing your diabetes, I would like to invite you to our growing Facebook community. And I would also really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down there and give the video a thumbs up as well, so that you will get notified the next time I release a new video.